JD's and Letterman Fudd lore. That is what is on the menu today. Boomers, God love them. I love them to death, but they have routinely given us probably some of the most misguided to downright dangerous 2A advice of all time. So I asked the 1 million of you guys here between YouTube and Instagram, what is the most ridiculous, funny, downright dangerous advice you have ever gotten from a boomer? And 6,500 of you guys have responded. The comments they did not let us down. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to read through some of these. Now, as always, guys, this video has been brought to you by Aim Surplus. This is a local mom and pop kind of shop next to me, but with a huge nationwide presence online. Guys, they get the stuff that nobody else can. They love the 2A industry. They fight for our rights. That is small business supporting small business. I will always be a champion of the guys who support me. That's what it's all about. Small business supporting small business. Now let's talk about some good old-fashioned boomer advice here. Don't want your gun to group too tight there, sonny. Because you want to spread the shots all around, hit all of the vitals. Like, oh yes, I despise I despise my bullet going exactly where I tell it to go. Like, oh man, like that's terrible. Vance from VBD Retail. I did a couple videos with these guys, super cool. Use something cheap for self-defense, so you don't mind losing it if you have to use it. That's just terrible advice. Your life is not, you don't have a price tag on your life. Your life is priceless. You're worth more than $175 handgun, king. No, don't go get you a Sky pistol. That's absolutely absurd. Get yourself a quality gun if you are going to carry it. Use it and vet it and make sure the thing works. Please, for the love of God, don't go get you a Cobra 380 and be like, yeah, at least it was cheap because it's going to be sitting in the evidence locker if I have to use it. Well, you know what's way more expensive than $75 Cobra? Your life. Come on, man. It's really hard to read these without reading them like a boomer and using a boomer voice. Medic 1911 says, Sonny, you don't need all those gadgets hanging off your rifle. It'll make you less accurate. You're like, yeah, dude, I absolutely hate an optic on my rifle here in 2025. I hate having a weapon mounted light because seeing in the dark is a superpower. Like, I get it. I understand it. Like, they grew up in a time where there was no such thing as attachments. That's all they had were iron sights. So like getting a flashlight on your gun was like space age technology. It's 2025. Get a light, get an optic on your firearm. If you buy a suppressor, that is consent for the ATF to inspect your home without warning. That is simply false. That is not true. I actually bought into this. It deterred me from buying a suppressor from a first time for like almost an entire year until like I did real research on it. I was like, dude, I don't know if having a little bit more quiet firearm is worth having like the ATF come knock on my door 3 or 4 times a year, because that's what I thought. That's legitimately what was told to me. And I believe that. I'm guilty. I'm guilty of the Fudd lore. This one is definitely one of my favorites. And we've gotten, I'm not kidding, at least 3 or 4 dozen of just this. Just rack the shotgun. The sound is enough to scare the intruder away. Like, how terribly misguided is that? Like, first of all, why is your firearm unloaded? Like, why do you not have your self-defense, home defense firearm unchambered? That's crazy. That's just illogical. If your gun is not loaded, it's a club. Like, it's not useful for nothing more than just that. And then secondly, like racking the shotgun. If somebody's in your house to steal your stuff or steal your life, they have obviously placed your life to be less worthy than theirs. Therefore, they are probably armed and you should treat them as such. And you racking the shotgun is doing nothing but telling them, hey, there's somebody else in this place that I am robbing or doing God knows what with a gun. Now I'm going to have to fight my way out of here. It's just illogical. Please keep your self-defense, handguns, firearms loaded at all times. If you have children, make sure you take the proper precautions so they can't reach them. But yes, terrible advice. I don't need no light on my home defense gun. I know where them light switches are at. Like, oh my God, you're right, because you're always right next to the light switch. You're always, no matter what, like, are they afraid of the dark? Like, or they just love the dark? It's one or the other. Like, they're afraid of lights or they're afraid of the dark. I don't understand. Guys, having a weapon mounted light on your gun is a literal superpower. Please utilize one. You don't need training, sonny. I can't even read these without talking like a boomer. You don't need training. I've been shooting since I was 12, and I'm better than anyone. Nobody is more confident in their terrible shooting skills that I have found than boomers who shoot 11 rounds annually on a flat range. These dudes are so confident in their shooting ability that I don't even know how they got there, because they don't even shoot their guns. Like, they're the ones that are worried about like getting a nick and getting scratches on their guns. Like, this is crazy. 45. 6.5 meme more. Love that handle, bro. 45 ACP does more damage because it moves slower. Therefore, it spends more time inside. Oh, goodness gracious. Great balls of fire, boys. If you shoot someone in the thumb with 45 ACP, they will die from shock. Somebody said this with confidence, I bet. Like, somebody's literally is like, that's why I carry 45. Because if you shoot somebody in the thumb, like, they'll just die of shock. Like, I don't even got to be that accurate. I just need to hit a digit. I just need to hit the thumb. And I'm good, boys. Like, somebody probably said that with a straight face and, like, with so much confidence behind it. Like, I just wish I was a fly on the wall to, like, see the person listening to that if they were, like, even slightly competent. Like, what? I was a big believer in this one, especially when I was, like, 16 to, like, 20 years old, and I was really starting to, like, become, like, independent and, like, think of utilizing firearms in a self-defense matter, not just target shooting and, you know, hunting. Gun clerks say aftermarket triggers, lights, dots, etc. will get you locked up in a self-defensive shooting. Like, I believed in this because this was perpetuated extremely heavy. Like, oh, if you've got a red dot and an aftermarket trigger, they're going to be like, oh, he has all of these modifications to his firearm and it's going to make him way more deadly. Therefore, we're definitely ruling this not a self-defense shooting. I don't think anybody has ever been able to prove this in any case whatsoever, that somebody had a red dot or a trigger in their firearm and they use it in a self-defense scenario and they were like, oh yeah, sorry, that triggers the reason why you're getting 20 years instead of it being declared a real self-defense shooting. Crazy. I used to believe that. And clearly lots of people still do. The Garand Ping. This is one of my top favorites of boomers. The Garand Ping got our boys killed in Bastogne. It's funny because, like, this is like serious boomer Fudd lore, but no boomers served in World War II or really even the Korean War. So it really cracks me up when they say, yeah, that Garand Ping got our boys killed. Like, think about how illogical that is. Like, first of all, you've got a platoon of like 40 dudes on your side shooting M1 Grands, BARs, Thompsons, Browning 30 cal versus like the Germans or like the Japanese who've got, you know, an MG42, Car 98, MP40 racking off. Like, in the chaos of war, if you're even capable of hearing a Garand Ping the clip, are you really gonna make a move because one dude's gun pinged out of the other 40 behind this hedgerow? That's what's gonna, you know, give you the opportunity to maneuver and outflank? Stop it. It's illogical. Like, nobody has ever proven that. Why don't we reverse this Fudd lore? Like, let's just say, hey, let's start our own anti-Fudd lore with this. Like, actually, that's not true. It was the opposite. They purposely ejected Garand clips to get the Germans to stick their heads out. Hey, I'm patenting that. That's the new anti-Fudd lore. Now, you guys knew it couldn't be a boomer Fudd lore video without talking about the Lord's Caliper 45 AARP. 40 Smith & Wesson is all the stopping power of 45 ACP and the recoil of 9mm. It is literally neither of those things. 40 cal was supposed to like change the world and solve the world because 10mm was a massive flop, but 40 cal was supposed to bridge that gap between 9 and 10, but it turns out it was neither of those things, and probably one of the greatest like cartridge rises and falls of like all time. This one goes back to training. No matter how much you train, you will freeze up and you won't remember how to shoot. That's illogical. Like, yes, if you ever have to use your firearm in any sort of self-defense scenario, yeah, there's a good chance like you're going to be scared. Like, you're going to be crapping your pants. But you train for that and your instinct kicks in. Yes, there might be that split second, half second, you're like, oh, yeah, that's okay. But you train for this and you work through that and you fight through that. It's so funny to think that this guy, you know, getting this advice from this boomer is like, oh, don't even train. Like, why? Like, he's basically saying, why bother training? Because it's irrelevant. Like, your training's not going to matter. Absolutely illogical. Kings, get at that range, get some rounds down, and disregard. That's terrible advice. Another one. Leave an empty pump shotgun at home for the wife. Like, What? Leave an empty gun? Like, if you brandish a firearm to somebody who is carrying a firearm, like, and yours is not loaded, it's crazy. This is illogical. Fanatic Arms. It's the same thing. Comparing a Ruger to an Accuracy International. This necessarily isn't exclusive to Fudds, I will say. We get tons of people who say XYZ brand is just as good. No, it's not just as good. There's a reason why some guns cost more money. It's because they test those guns. They QC those guns. And some people just manufacture to be as cheap as possible and deal in volume instead of quality. It's quantity over quality instead of quality over quantity. No suppressor for home defense. Loud equals scare them off. Gets shot by concussed wife. Yeah, that's terrible. Like, is it mandatory to have a suppressor on your home defense weapon? No, absolutely not. Should you? Yeah, I mean, probably so. Like, if you already have it and you've trained with it and you've vetted your platform that it runs well with that suppressor, like, why not skip the extra tinnitus? Like, why not? More training advice from people who don't shoot. Slow down and get your hits, sonny. No, train until you fail. Shoot so fast that you fail. You will never get better unless you fail. Like, that's all there is to it. You will never get better unless you train until failure. Bullpups are extra deadly. It's probably because they just look so bad. Sorry, bullpup guys. Reloading is cheaper, says the pensioned retiree who has free time and bought cheap years ago. Yes, that's a big problem, I think, in my opinion, that reloading has become more of a hobby for, like, precision rifle shooters. Like, yes, can you reload cheaper than you can buy new manufacturer ammunition? Yes, but that margin between new and reloading is getting thinner and thinner by the day. Components are just very expensive. And especially for me, I only reload for, like, my precision guns. If I am shooting 9mm or 5.56, I'm going to Badlands Munitions, and that's what I'm getting. The 22 of death. Nothing beats the classic 22 long rifle bounce around death. I don't even know where this came from. I feel like it resurged, like the 22 lethality, right around when Grand Thumb did the Coke can challenge with that guy. But they were talking about, like, the 22, it just bounces around in the skull. Like, man, please don't use a 22 long rifle for self-defense. Get yourself a 9mm like everybody else in the world. Mike's Media. Scope doesn't have to be level with the bore. Mount it how you're going to shoot it, sonny. I can't even say these things without talking like a boomer. Terrible advice. Like, okay, if your scope is, like, canted 45 degrees at 50 yards, yeah, it may not make a difference. Anything else beyond that, you're going to start to see the difference. And especially when you're talking about long range shooting, if your scope is not perfectly level, yeah, you're going to see a serious problem. You're going to see a different bullet trajectory, essentially. You can't even dial your dope for that. Mount your stuff. I got Badger Ordnance stuff. They've got their dead level system. You can get some little bubble levels to put on the optic as well. Please level your optic. You will become a more proficient shooter. The sauerkraut. Don't pin and weld a muzzle device to your barrel. The heat will melt the rifling. Because shooting it isn't generating heat. Yeah. That True Glow optic was built like a tank. Broken one shot. Yeah. I love the Fudd lore behind the counter. Like, that's some of, like, the holy grail of Fudd lore. Just blatant disregard for quality and being like, well, this thing's only $80, sonny. You should just get this one here. Like, were they given some sort of, like, I don't know, bonus check to you pushing out the worst optics possible onto consumers? I don't know. Yes. If you use your slide release, it'll wear out. Yes, this is true. If you use your gun, it will wear out. If you use your gun, it will wear out. So, like, I guess he's not wrong, but, like, I don't even know how to respond to that. Like, it's like, what? More 45 love. If you need more than 7 rounds, sonny, you shouldn't be carrying a gun. Illogical. Laughing octopus. I don't know where you shoot at, homie. If you take your pants off, it'll shoot tighter grips. You should call somebody about that. Probably the police. Love hunting stories from boomers. You can't kill no deer, sonny, with a 223. It'll just bounce around and come off out the leg. I don't know where this started, but deer are not body armored human beings. They're extraordinarily thin-skinned animals. You don't need a 45-70. You don't need a 300 Win Mag. Plenty plenty of power with 243. Even 223. The only thing you got to do is do your part and make a decent shot. More than 7 rounds in your carry gun is too much. Just use 45, it'll blow them out your boots. Somebody said this with confidence, bro. Like, this is another one that I just hear all the time. I don't know where it came from or like even why. Like, these people had too much time on their hands. Load your home defense shotgun with progressing lethality. Bag, bird shot, then buckshot. Like, oh man, yeah, you're right. The guy on the other end of this has, hollow point 9mm, but I'm gonna handicap myself and use a bag that is definitely not going to incapacitate this person. But after that, bird shot, like, and then you get to the real lethal stuff like the buckshot. It's absurd. Please do not do this, guys. Carry a cheap gun like a dagger because you'll lose it to evidence. Again, guys, your life is worth more than a $200 pistol. I promise you. Your life is worth way more than that. Coming home to your family, coming home to your kids is worth way more than losing your Glock to evidence. Ryan, dang, bro. You can't chain up home invaders in your basement because it's illegal. No comment. We check pistol ammo because armor-piercing 45 AARP might slip in. Local RO. Honestly, bro, like, I could see you just like at the end of the range, just trying to, get some reps in, and like somebody comes over, is like, hey, let me see that ammo. We've had a real outbreak of 45 ACP armor piercing ammo come through here. Like, oh my God. Boomer NFA advice. You have to pay the $200 tax stamp every year. Like, I don't even know how this stuff started. Like, boomers have been buying NFA items like since NFA. Well, not 1930s, but like, the 60s, 70s, 80s, and so on and so forth. Like, come on now. Like, this, stop it. Like, Colin Simpson. I don't like AR-15s 9mm because they're too easy for women and children to use. Nobody thinks less of women and children than boomers. Like, and not in the sense of like they don't value their life, but like they think that they are just not capable of being as good at them as something else. And like that's illogical because like Lena Mishalik, she dunks on like 99% of shooters that I know, including myself. So like, stop it. That's ridiculous. In fact, like, you should be teaching your women and your children in your life firearms. And honestly, an AR-15 and a 9mm is the perfect choice for that because they're very soft shooting and very easy to manage. Ports and comps on a pistol can blind you. I don't know where this stuff comes from because that's just not the case. Especially with like modern propellants. Like, most of these have some sort of flash suppressant in them, especially good quality carry ammo. I don't oil my guns because it makes them all slippery. It's like, I don't even know how you argue with that. Like, you can't even argue against that. A 22 is most deadly due to the zigzagging. Yeah, they are big fans of 22. I think it's funny. 22 is very capable little round though. Like, it's not a toy. It is not the pellet gun it was once made out to be. But it is certainly not the death dealing machine that some people also make it out to be. All those extra gadgets on your gun is going to take you right to jail after a fight. Prove it. Not true. Every hunting season, give your zero a couple clicks up because the barrel slows down. Like, that is just one that is just so wrong. Like, because first of all, barrels don't slow down. And like, let's be real. When you shoot a barrel and you break in a barrel, they get faster. Like, when barrels get broken in, they typically speed up from anywhere from like 10 to like 80 feet per second. I've seen some cases where they jump almost 100 feet per second after a good 200 to 300 round break-in on a precision rifle barrel. And then second of all, like slow down, like give a couple clicks. It's like, he's using like probably like a half-minute click scope. So like, give him a couple clicks. Like, after 3 years, like, you're talking probably the difference between like hitting your target and missing your target. It's just, it's the most misguided stuff I've ever seen. Like, I don't even know how this happens. Like, Ray Latre. Bullets don't reach full velocity until they're like 20 yards out of the barrel. Like, where does this, like, where does this come from? Like, did he watch like a Haviland, like getting shot once where it goes, like, he's like, oh yeah, that's exactly how rifles work too, buddy. Also, break in your pistol with only FMJs. Don't use hollow points. You're right. We should just never use hollow points. We should never train with them. We should never use them at all. You know what? Just ban hollow points. We should just ban hollow points. 5.56 for home defense is going to kill all your neighbors, Sonny, from over penetration. Meanwhile, he's using FMJ 9mm. Like, it's just like, irony is so delicious. Irony, the jokes, they just write themselves now. Oh, man. Precision advice from the general population of boomers. Let the shot surprise you. He couldn't have put it any better here, man. I too wish to have no control of when my rounds go off. Like, no, the shot surprising you, I don't know where that boomer Fudd lore came from, but you should have your finger on the brake, ready to make that hammer fall. And it should be an intentional action. Like, no, like, if your gun doesn't go off exactly when you tell it to, it's a negligent discharge. Just stop it. Find your point of aim. Prep that trigger. Break it. Make your shot. A 2-for-1. Women should only use revolvers. 38 snub nose with wad cutters is the perfect weapon for a lady. Like, man, like, okay, like, first of all, no, it's not a bad choice, but like, the sentiment behind it is that boomers just, nobody thinks less of women in firearms than boomers. Like, they're saying basically, like, you cannot use anything else but a revolver. You're not good enough to touch my 1911 or my Glock or anything. Like, you stick with that 38 special, honey. That's what you're good at. I don't shoot my carry gun because I want that barrel tight if I ever have to use it. Oh, yes, I never train with the guns that I carry. So, JDs and Letterman, we have a wrap. I know we've been a little hard on the boomers here, and like, I love them to death. Like, you know, it's always fun to poke a little fun at these guys. You know, I don't mean anything harm by it, but it's just been a ton of fun. So, guys, we appreciate you tuning in here. As always, guys, keep sharing this stuff. Subscribe, like, give us a comment for the YouTube algorithm gods. Run your gun, not your mouth. We'll catch you next time.